Have you ever wondered if something as simple as your kitchen could be quietly affecting your health every day? It's a tough truth that many of us, especially seniors like you and me, don't think about it often enough. I remember feeling tired and having headaches more frequently, just like Diane from Sacramento, who thought it was normal as she spent more time cooking during retirement. It turns out, the very place we trust for nourishment might be hiding invisible dangers that slowly wear us down. But here's the good news. Protecting yourself doesn't mean making huge changes or living in fear. There are easy, practical steps you can take today to reduce your exposure to harmful radiation right in your kitchen. No need for complicated gadgets or stressful routines. Just simple awareness and a few small adjustments. And the surprising part? These changes can help boost your energy, improve your sleep, and make you feel healthier overall, even if you thought it was just getting old. I'm going to walk you through 6 common kitchen items that may be secretly emitting dangerous radiation and show you how to keep yourself safe in the most comfortable way possible. So, have you noticed anything unusual around your kitchen or health lately? I'd love to hear your story, because you deserve to live well, feeling vibrant and protected every day. Let's explore this together. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. Now, let's begin. 1. Microwave ovens. When we think about the heart of our home, the kitchen almost always comes to mind. It's where so many of our favorite memories begin. The smell of fresh bread, a pot of soup bubbling away, grandkids sneaking a cookie while you turn your back. And sitting there on nearly every counter in America is the microwave oven, a faithful helper we've come to rely on for convenience. It's hard to picture modern life without it, especially when warming up a quick lunch or reheating leftovers for dinner. But what if I told you this everyday appliance, one we trust to make life easier, could also be quietly impacting your health, particularly as we grow older? It's a thought that might catch you off guard. I remember when microwaves first became popular. We all marveled at how fast they could heat last night's roast or thaw out a frozen casserole in a pinch. For many seniors, they're a lifeline. No heavy pots to lift, no need to wait for the stove. But over time, as with so many things in life, a sense of routine can make us overlook little risks, the sort we never imagined would matter. I want to share something you probably won't hear at the appliance store. Microwave ovens emit electromagnetic radiation. Normally, this energy is safely trapped inside the oven by a special metal shield and rubber seals around the door. But here's the catch. Just like anything else that gets older, those seals and shields can start to wear down. They dry out, get tiny cracks, or lose their snug fit after years of daily use, exposure to heat, and constant opening and closing. The changes are so subtle you might never notice them, until the day you start to feel different and don't know why. Diane's story is a perfect example. After she retired, she started cooking more at home, enjoying the extra time. The microwave was always just within reach, perched right at eye level on the counter. She'd stand in front of it, arms folded, waiting for her tea or oatmeal, never giving it a second thought. But slowly, her energy started to fade. Headaches became more common. Sleeping through the night became a struggle. Her doctor couldn't find anything wrong. It wasn't until Diane read about radiation leakage from aging microwaves that a light bulb went off. Out of curiosity, she tested her microwave seal and was surprised to find that, yes, her old faithful was letting some of that energy escape, right into the kitchen she loved. And that's the part most people don't know. Research from Harvard Medical School and the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences has shown that as microwave door seals deteriorate, even a small amount of leakage can let electromagnetic radiation into your home. For seniors, this matters more than you might think. Our bodies aren't as quick to repair themselves as they once were. Cells take longer to heal, and the systems that protect us from everyday wear and tear start to slow down. That means even low levels of extra radiation, exposure you might have shrugged off when you were younger, can start to take a toll. So, What does this radiation do? Microwave ovens work by agitating water molecules at a frequency of about 2.45 gigahertz. That's how they heat food. But if that energy escapes, it doesn't just vanish. It can interact with the water molecules in your body, potentially causing the same kind of agitation on a tiny, cellular scale. Studies suggest that close, repeated exposure might affect sensitive systems. Your heart, your brain, your sleep cycles, without you ever feeling a single jolt or zap. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I've used a microwave for decades with no problem. And you'd be right. Most modern microwaves are built with safety in mind. But age can wear down the best defenses, and sometimes it's the small, invisible risks that creep up on us over the years. I found that most seniors, myself included, grew up in a time when no one talked much about invisible hazards. If you couldn't see it or smell it, you didn't worry about it. But science keeps marching forward, and now we know that even a tiny leak can have an impact, especially if you're standing right in front of the microwave day after day. So how do you know if your microwave is leaking? There's a simple test you can try at home. Place your cell phone inside the microwave, don't turn it on. Close the door, and try to call the phone from another device. If your phone rings inside, it means the seal isn't blocking electromagnetic waves, and some radiation could be escaping during use. It's a surprisingly easy trick, and it only takes a minute to check your peace of mind. If your microwave passes the test, wonderful. Just remember to keep a little distance when it's running. Did you know that stepping just 2 feet away while it's heating can reduce your exposure by over 80%? Use that 30 seconds to wipe the counter, check your recipe, or just stretch your legs. If you're someone who likes to watch food spin in the window, and let's be honest, we all do it, consider using a kitchen timer instead of standing right there. But if your microwave fails the seal test or is over 5 years old, it might be time to think about a replacement. I know that tossing out an appliance you've used for years can feel wasteful or sentimental, but your health is worth far more than the price of a new microwave. Most importantly, never try to fix a faulty door or bent seal yourself. Microwave repairs should always be left to professionals. Making these adjustments doesn't mean giving up your favorite convenience. It's about small shifts, simple changes that can make a big difference in how you feel day after day. Since Diane switched to standing further back and eventually replaced her old microwave with a newer model, she noticed her headaches became less frequent. Her energy picked up, and, maybe most important of all, she felt reassured knowing she was protecting herself from a risk she never even realized was there. Many seniors worry about making their golden years as comfortable and healthy as possible. The idea of radiation leaking from a microwave may sound intimidating, even a little frightening. But I want to assure you, you have far more control over your environment than you might realize. A little knowledge, a simple test, a new habit. Sometimes that's all it takes to guard your well-being. So the next time you're heating that cup of coffee or making a quick snack, take a step back, literally and figuratively. Be proud that you're learning, adapting, and looking out for your health. After all, you've spent your life caring for others. You deserve to care for yourself, too. And if you have a friend or neighbor who's also in their retirement years, why not share this tip with them? We're all in this together, helping each other live longer, healthier, and happier lives. Let's make our kitchens places of nourishment and comfort, not hidden sources of worry. With just a little effort, you can keep enjoying the convenience of your microwave, while making sure it serves you, not the other way around. 2. Cordless phone base stations. Let's take a walk through your kitchen or living room for a moment. Picture your countertop, maybe near the refrigerator or beside that familiar old armchair, and you'll likely see a cordless phone sitting quietly in its cradle, waiting for the next call from a grandchild, an old friend, or a neighbor checking in. For decades, these cordless phones have been more than just a gadget. They're a lifeline, a way to stay connected, to reach out for help, to keep family close no matter how far they might be. I'll be honest, I love the convenience of a cordless phone, and I know many seniors do too. But what if I told you that the very thing keeping us connected could also be quietly affecting our health? It's a hard pill to swallow. The idea that a simple base station, humming away day and night, might do more than just charge the handset seems almost unbelievable. After all, isn't technology here to make our lives easier? The truth is, yes, it does. But, like everything in life, convenience sometimes comes with hidden costs. And when it comes to electromagnetic radiation, those costs aren't always obvious. I first started wondering about this after reading about Dorothy from Cleveland, a woman just like you and me. Dorothy loved talking to her sister every evening and always kept her cordless phone right on the kitchen table. It was so handy, right there for every call, every recipe question, every, "I just wanted to hear your voice." But for months, Dorothy had been struggling with restless nights. She tossed and turned, found it hard to fall asleep, and woke up feeling groggy and out of sorts. She wrote it off as another sign of aging, something inevitable. But one day, after reading an article about household electromagnetic fields, Dorothy decided to move her phone base to the laundry room, just to see if it made a difference. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. To her surprise, within a week, her sleep improved. She fell asleep faster and woke up more refreshed. It wasn't magic, it was a simple change, and it made a world of difference. You see, the cordless phone base station is more than just a charger. Even when you're not making a call, the base emits a constant stream of electromagnetic radiation, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It acts almost like a tiny cell tower inside your home, forever searching for a signal, maintaining its connection to the handset so you can pick up and talk at any moment. Unlike the handset, which only transmits when you're speaking, the base never rests. And the closer it sits to where you spend your time, cooking, eating, chatting, the more exposure you receive, hour after hour, day after day. For most people, these invisible signals go unnoticed. You don't see, hear, or feel them directly. But as we age, our bodies become more sensitive to even small amounts of environmental stress. Scientists at the Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins have found that long-term, close exposure to electromagnetic fields can interfere with our natural sleep cycles, lower our body's ability to handle stress, and even affect our memory and cognitive function. The base station emits radio frequencies, usually between 1.8 and 1.9 gigahertz, strong enough to travel through walls and keep you connected all over the house. But these same frequencies can also pass through human tissue, quietly interfering with the body's electrical signals that keep our heart beating, our brain thinking, and our nerves firing just right. It's easy to brush this off as just another modern worry, but the effects are real, especially for seniors. Our antioxidant defenses slow down, our cellular repair systems aren't as robust, and even a little extra radiation can tip the scales toward fatigue, brain fog, or restless nights. It's not about fear. It's about gentle, informed caution, the same way you might avoid too much sugar or take a walk to help your heart. You might wonder, isn't my cell phone or Wi-Fi just as bad? Good question. While every wireless device adds a little to your home's overall electromagnetic environment, the base station's constant, unbroken signal makes it a unique concern, especially when it sits close to your favorite spot. Imagine spending hours at the kitchen table, eating, reading, talking, with a base station just a foot away, radiating continuously. What can you do? The answer, thankfully, is simple and practical. No need to give up your favorite phone or disconnect from loved ones. The key is distance. Moving your base station just 6 feet away from where you spend the most time, whether that's the kitchen counter, your recliner, or the bedside table, can dramatically reduce your daily radiation exposure. You'll still have the freedom to roam the house with your handset, but you won't be sitting in the middle of a constant signal cloud. For Dorothy, this meant a quick trip to the utility room. She tucked the base away on a shelf, checked that the signal still reached every room, and carried on with life as usual. The results were almost immediate. Not only did her sleep improve, but her morning headaches faded and her mood lifted. She felt lighter, more refreshed, and less on edge. It's worth noting that every home is different. Some people keep their base station in the hallway, others on a desk or nightstand. No matter where yours is, take a moment today to walk around and consider where you spend the most time. If the phone base is nearby, try moving it farther away. Test the signal strength by calling from different rooms. Most modern phones have no problem reaching across the house, even from a closet or utility area. If you're worried about missing a call, set the ringer on high or use an extra handset in the main room. Some people find it helpful to switch to corded phones for the main line. No radiation at all, and they work during power outages too. But for most, simply moving the base makes all the difference. Remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Small steps add up. The goal isn't perfection, but progress, giving your body the best chance to rest, recharge, and enjoy every day with less hidden stress. Over time, you might notice better sleep, more energy, and even clearer thinking. If you've been feeling off lately, more tired, forgetful, or restless at night, take a look at the simple things around your home. Sometimes, the answer is as easy as moving a device a few feet further away. In the end, it's not about giving up the connections that matter most. It's about creating a home environment where those connections can thrive without silently stealing your peace of mind. You deserve restful nights and lively days, without invisible hazards lurking nearby. So the next time you pick up the phone to call a loved one, remember Dorothy's story, and maybe take a moment to see where your own base station lives. A tiny change today could mean a world of difference tomorrow. After all, this stage of life is about enjoying every moment. And sometimes that means making simple choices to protect your health and well-being, one little step at a time. 3. Wi-Fi routers in kitchen areas. If you close your eyes for a moment and picture your kitchen, what do you see? The gentle hum of the refrigerator, the soft ticking of the wall clock, the aroma of coffee brewing in the morning light. Maybe, tucked above the cabinets or nestled beside the toaster, there's a small blinking device that has quietly become a fixture in modern homes, the Wi-Fi router. It's easy to overlook. After all, it doesn't clang like a pot or hiss like a kettle. But for so many of us, especially as our families have spread out and our lives have become more connected, that router is a silent partner in our daily routines. It lets us video chat with grandchildren, stream recipes, check our emails, and read the news before breakfast. But what if that humble little box, meant to keep us in touch with the world, was also sending out more than just internet signals? What if every hour you spent in your kitchen, you were also soaking in something you couldn't see, hear, or feel, something that might be quietly wearing on your body, especially now, in these golden years when health and energy are so precious? For many seniors, the kitchen is the center of the home. It's where you spend the most time standing, preparing meals, sipping tea, and gathering with loved ones. And because we often want a strong, steady internet connection, the router ends up right there, in the room where we live the most. Maybe you moved it there so the Wi-Fi reaches the back porch, or so your favorite tablet gets a full signal for those early morning crossword puzzles. At first glance, it seems harmless, just a box with a few lights and some wires. Yet the story is more complicated. Let me share Frank and Helen's experience from Denver. 4 years, their router sat right above the kitchen cabinets. It was the most logical spot, central, easy to hide, and out of the way of spills and clutter. Helen loved FaceTiming her sister while making soup, and Frank kept up with his chess club online from the breakfast table. But over time, Helen began to notice something odd. After long afternoons in the kitchen, she felt tired, even before dinner time. Some days, she'd get a mild headache, and by the evening, both she and Frank felt oddly drained. They chalked it up to age, the altitude, even the weather, never thinking it could be something so familiar, so normal, as the Wi-Fi router. Then, one day, their daughter sent them an article about electromagnetic fields and how continuous exposure, even at low levels, can add up, especially for older adults. The article explained that routers don't just work when you're browsing the web. They emit radio frequency radiation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, creating a kind of invisible cloud in your living space. It mentioned that the 2.4 GHz frequency used by most routers is nearly identical to the frequency used by microwave ovens, just delivered at a lower, steady power. Suddenly, it clicked for Helen. Maybe, just maybe, that little blinking box had more of an impact than they realized. Curious, Frank decided to run an experiment. He moved the router from the kitchen to the basement, using a few inexpensive cables to keep the internet strong throughout the house. It took less than half an hour. To their amazement, both he and Helen began to feel a difference within days. Helen's headaches grew less frequent, their afternoon slump nearly disappeared, and even their sleep seemed deeper and more restful. What science tells us is that the electromagnetic fields, EMFs, from routers are, indeed, real and measurable. They're not dangerous in the sense of causing instant harm. No sparks, no jolts, no alarms. But over time, these invisible waves can subtly interfere with your body's own electrical systems, the delicate balance that keeps your heart beating, your brain sharp, and your cells working smoothly. For older adults, whose immune function, cellular repair, and hormone balance are already more vulnerable, this ongoing exposure can add an extra layer of stress that goes unnoticed until symptoms appear. Fatigue, headaches, sleep troubles, or that general feeling of being run down. It isn't about fear-mongering. It's about wisdom. Seniors have seen more technological changes than any other generation. Black and white TVs to smart refrigerators, rotary phones to video calls. With each change, we learn to adapt, to embrace the new, but also to protect what matters most. This is no different. Moving a router is a simple act, a gentle precaution. It doesn't mean giving up the joys of modern life, just making small shifts to ensure technology works for you, not against you. Maybe you're thinking, but I need the signal strong in the kitchen. Absolutely, and you can have it. Today's routers are powerful enough to cover every room from a hallway, bedroom, or utility space. You don't need to keep it beside the mixing bowls or the bread box. If you're unsure, ask a grandchild or neighbor to help reposition it. Check the signal with your favorite device and see if you can browse and video call as usual. Most families are surprised at how little moving the router affects their day-to-day convenience. But what about all those smart devices? The fridge, the TV, the digital assistant. Each adds a little to your home's electromagnetic load, but the router is usually the strongest, most constant source. By moving it just one room away, you cut your kitchen exposure by more than 70%. That's a huge improvement for such a simple step. You might not notice the difference overnight, but after a few weeks, you could find your afternoons less tiring, your mind clearer, and your nights easier. It's one of those things you don't realize was weighing on you until the weight is gone. The kitchen should be a place of nourishment and joy, not invisible stress. As we age, little choices make a big difference, whether it's eating more greens, walking each morning, or taking charge of our home environment. You've earned these years. You deserve to enjoy them in comfort and peace. So take a look around your kitchen. Is that Wi-Fi router blinking near where you stand, cook, or chat? If so, consider giving it a new home, somewhere close enough for connection, but far enough for peace of mind. And if you know a friend or neighbor who might benefit from this tip, pass it along. Sometimes, the smallest changes lead to the biggest blessings. In the end, technology is here to connect us, not wear us down. By taking care of yourself and your environment, you ensure the connections that really matter, the ones with your family, your friends, and your own well-being. Stay strong for years to come. 4. Electric can openers. Think back to the first time you saw an electric can opener at work. Maybe it was in a neighbor's kitchen, or perhaps it was a thoughtful gift from your children who worried about your arthritic hands and wanted to make meal prep just a little easier. There's a quiet kind of pride that comes from embracing new gadgets, especially ones that promise to make everyday life simpler. After all, isn't that what getting older is about? Finding ways to ease the aches and savor the small joys, like opening a can of peaches for your morning oatmeal or prepping chicken noodle soup on a rainy afternoon. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. For so many of us, the electric can opener sits in the kitchen as a silent helper, always ready, always dependable. It hums quietly as it glides around a can, requiring no more effort than the push of a button. There's a certain comfort in that whirring sound. It tells you that even as the years pass and your grip might weaken, you can still enjoy the independence of preparing your own meals. But as is often the case with modern conveniences, there can be more beneath the surface than meets the eye or the ear. Few people realize that electric can openers, for all their ease and ingenuity, are actually powerful sources of electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, every time they're switched on. The first time I learned about this, I was surprised, too. Who would suspect such a small appliance could be sending out invisible waves of energy right into the hand and arm that holds it, even if only for a minute or two at a time? Let me share Linda's story, a warm, fiercely independent woman from Portland. Linda loved her electric can opener. It was a housewarming gift from her daughter when she downsized into a cozy apartment after retiring. For years, she used it daily, sometimes several times a day, popping open cans for stews, fruit, and even the occasional treat for her beloved tabby, Milo. But as the months rolled on, Linda started to notice a strange fatigue in her arm and hand, sometimes a tingling that wouldn't go away. She brushed it off at first, blaming the change in weather or a touch of arthritis. Then, she happened upon an article about EMFs and small kitchen appliances. The author explained how the motor inside electric can openers generates an intense burst of electromagnetic energy, especially during operation. In fact, researchers at Harvard School of Public Health found that this brief but powerful exposure accumulates over time, especially for those who use their can opener every day. The field created by the motor extends a couple of feet from the device, which means that not only your hand but your entire lower arm is getting a concentrated dose each time you pop open a can. It might sound a bit far-fetched at first. After all, we're surrounded by gadgets. Phones, radios, microwaves, TVs. Aren't these just the facts of modern life? And isn't it just a few seconds here and there? Here's where age comes into play. Seniors like Linda have bodies that don't bounce back quite as quickly as they used to. Cellular repair is slower, nerves more sensitive, and circulation less robust. What might seem trivial in youth becomes something to pay attention to as we get older. It turns out, repeated close exposure to electromagnetic fields, especially in the hand, wrist, and forearm, can contribute to cellular stress and fatigue. Some studies even suggest it may have a subtle impact on nerve function or immune health in the long term, particularly in seniors who are already managing other health concerns. For Linda, the realization brought a moment of pause. She wondered if, perhaps, her beloved gadget was doing her more harm than good. So, she decided to try an experiment. She dug out the old manual can opener from the back of her utensil drawer, one of those sturdy, no-nonsense models with the big, easy-to-grip handle. The first time she used it, she found it took a bit more effort than just pressing a button, but to her surprise, it wasn't nearly as hard as she remembered. Modern manual openers are designed with seniors in mind: ergonomic grips, smooth turning gears, and safety blades that leave edges soft in hands unscathed. Within a couple of weeks, Linda noticed that the strange tingling and fatigue had eased. She felt a quiet satisfaction in knowing she was taking back a small piece of control over her health. She even enjoyed the little bit of extra activity it added to her routine. Her grip grew stronger, and there was a familiar, almost meditative rhythm to turning the crank and hearing the gentle pop as the can opened. Switching to a manual can opener isn't about giving up the ease and comfort you've come to appreciate. It's about making a conscious choice for your well-being, one that's rooted in self-respect and gentle self-care. For those with arthritis or limited hand strength, there are a range of manual openers specially made for seniors. Some even come with cushioned grips, wide turning handles, and magnetic lifts to make removing lids a breeze. The other upside? Manual can openers never break down due to electrical problems, don't require batteries, and will last you for years, maybe even a lifetime. There's something to be said for the reliability of simple tools, and for the peace of mind that comes from reducing your exposure to unnecessary electromagnetic stress, no matter how small. If you still prefer your electric can opener for those tough-to-open cans or on days when your hands are particularly tired, that's perfectly okay. But consider mixing it up, using the manual opener when you can, and saving the electric one for times when you really need it. And when you do use your electric opener, try to keep your hand as far back as possible, just to minimize your direct exposure to the motor's electromagnetic field. Aging gracefully means honoring your needs and making little choices each day that add up to better health and more energy for the things you love. Sometimes that means learning a new way or going back to the basics. It's about more than just opening a can. It's about opening your eyes to new information, adapting with wisdom, and always putting your well-being first. Linda's kitchen is still full of laughter, music, and the scent of home-cooked meals. These days, you'll find her using her manual can opener most mornings, Milo watching intently for any sign of a treat. It's a small change, but for Linda, and for so many seniors just like her, it's one more way to take charge of her health, to feel empowered, and to enjoy the independence she cherishes. After all, life in the golden years should be about comfort, joy, and peace of mind. Every small step, every conscious choice, brings you closer to the vitality and ease you deserve. And sometimes, it really does begin with the simplest of tools, like a trusty can opener, powered not by a motor, but by your own gentle hand. 5. Smart refrigerators and connected appliances. When you think of the quiet giants in your kitchen, your refrigerator likely comes to mind first. It's been there through decades of family dinners, late-night snacks, and summer picnics. Maybe yours has a few family photos stuck on the door, a couple of magnets from your travels, and a comforting hum that reminds you food and comfort are always within reach. In recent years, though, the humble refrigerator has gotten a high-tech makeover. Smart refrigerators and connected appliances have swept into our homes, promising convenience, efficiency, and a little touch of modern magic, like telling you when you're low on milk or letting you peek inside from your smartphone while you're at the store. At first glance, these smart appliances sound like a marvel. They save time, offer reminders, and help us feel up to date in a fast-changing world. And for seniors, that sense of independence can mean the world. A fridge that sends an alert if the door's left open, or a stove you can check remotely for peace of mind. But hidden beneath all these helpful features is something most of us never think about. These smart appliances are always on, quietly sending and receiving information, creating a steady stream of electromagnetic signals, radiation, right where you spend so much of your daily life. Let's look at Carl's story. Carl, a retired teacher from Phoenix, always loved new technology. When he moved into a smaller home after his wife retired, he replaced his old appliances with the latest models. A smart fridge, a voice-activated oven, a dishwasher that could be started from his phone. At first, it felt like he was living in the future. But as the months went by, Carl and his wife began to notice subtle changes. Their sleep wasn't as restful. Carl felt oddly fatigued during the day, even when he'd had a full night's rest. His wife began experiencing headaches she'd never had before. It didn't cross their minds that the new appliances could have anything to do with it. After all, the fridge was just keeping food cold. How could it possibly affect how they felt? But one afternoon, while reading an article about electromagnetic pollution, Carl learned something that made him pause. Unlike old refrigerators that only draw electricity when cooling, smart refrigerators and connected appliances emit low-level electromagnetic radiation all day, every day. They're constantly sending data to manufacturers, talking to your Wi-Fi network, receiving software updates, and syncing with other devices in your home, even when you're not using them. This constant connectivity creates what researchers at Stanford Medical School call indoor electromagnetic pollution. It's not the same as a jolt from a faulty plug or the blast from a microwave. Instead, It's a steady background hum of invisible energy that fills your kitchen. For younger people, the body's natural repair systems may handle this without much trouble. But for seniors, who often spend more time at home and whose cells take longer to recover from stress, this added exposure can quietly sap energy, disrupt sleep, and slow down healing. Carl was curious. He decided to dig into the settings menu on his smart fridge. Sure enough, he found that it was transmitting updates and usage data several times an hour, day and night. His oven and dishwasher were doing the same. With a little trial and error, he turned off the smart features he never really used. The result was almost immediate. Carl's wife began sleeping through the night again. His own afternoon fatigue faded, replaced by a more steady sense of energy. It was as if someone had opened a window and let a fresh breeze into their lives. The science behind this is still being uncovered, but what we know is clear. Multiple connected devices in your kitchen multiply your exposure to electromagnetic fields, often exceeding what you'd get from any single device. The Federal Communications Commission has even warned that the cumulative exposure from overlapping sources can reach levels that are particularly concerning for seniors. Smart refrigerators, in particular, are often the largest and most active appliance, running Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and even cellular modems inside one metal shell. This creates a web of signals that bounce around your kitchen, the very space where your body should feel safest. So what can you do if your kitchen is already full of these high-tech wonders? First, don't panic. This isn't about fear. It's about making informed choices that fit your lifestyle and protect your well-being. The simplest step is to review your appliance settings. Most smart refrigerators and ovens allow you to disable Wi-Fi or smart features through the control panel. If you're not using the remote features or don't need reminders sent to your phone, consider turning these off. Your fridge will still keep food cold, your oven will still bake your favorite bread, and you'll have one less stream of electromagnetic radiation in your kitchen. When it's time to replace an appliance, you might consider choosing a traditional model, one that cools, cleans, or cooks without connecting to the internet. There's comfort in knowing that sometimes the old ways really are the best ways, especially when it comes to creating a restful, healthy home. If you do rely on smart features for safety or accessibility, just try to keep the appliances you use most, like your fridge or oven, a little further from spots where you sit or spend the most time. Even a few feet can make a meaningful difference in reducing your exposure. And if you're helping a friend or relative set up a new appliance, share what you've learned. Sometimes the smallest adjustments offer the greatest peace of mind. For Carl and his wife, the kitchen feels different now. It's not just the improved sleep or better energy. It's the comfort that comes from understanding how the tools we use every day can quietly shape our health and happiness. They still marvel at their fridge's shiny doors, but they treasure even more the quiet nights and lively afternoons they've regained. You deserve a kitchen that is truly a place of comfort and restoration, a sanctuary, not a source of invisible stress. Our world may keep getting smarter, but wisdom tells us to pause and listen to our bodies, to choose what serves us best. In these golden years, that's one of the greatest freedoms we have. So, take a moment today to look at your kitchen through new eyes. Are your appliances helping you, or quietly adding to your burdens? With a few gentle changes, maybe just the flip of a switch, you can reclaim your space, your energy, and your peace of mind. That's a kind of modern magic worth believing in. 6. Bluetooth kitchen speakers and devices. In many homes today, the kitchen is no longer just a place for cooking and eating. It's a place filled with music, laughter, podcasts, and the gentle hum of conversations with loved ones, even if they're miles away. For many seniors, Bluetooth speakers and connected devices have become cherished companions, bringing favorite songs, radio shows, or audiobooks right into the heart of daily routines. There's something truly comforting about filling your kitchen with the music that lifts your spirits while you prepare a meal or clean up afterwards. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But behind this joyful soundtrack is something invisible that we rarely think about: the constant stream of electromagnetic radiation these Bluetooth devices emit. Unlike the soft melodies they play, the signals they send and receive can add to the invisible energy field swirling around you every day, especially in spaces where you spend a lot of time, like your kitchen. Take Martha's story, for example. Martha, a spirited woman from Seattle, loved to start her mornings with her favorite jazz playlist. She had a few Bluetooth speakers scattered around her home, one in the kitchen, one in the living room, and a small one she took with her to the garden. For years, she enjoyed the freedom of wireless music without worrying about cords or complicated setups. But over time, Martha noticed that her afternoons were often filled with unexplained tiredness. Some days, her nerves felt on edge, and her sleep wasn't as deep or restful as it used to be. She wondered if all the technology was a blessing or a hidden burden. It turns out that Bluetooth devices, like speakers, headsets, smartwatches, and tablets, operate on radio frequencies in the 2.4 GHz range, the same band used by Wi-Fi routers and microwave ovens. These frequencies allow devices to communicate wirelessly, hopping rapidly between channels to avoid interference and keep your music clear. While this technology is impressive and convenient, it creates complex electromagnetic patterns that some researchers believe may be more disruptive to biological systems than steady, single-frequency signals. Even when your Bluetooth speaker isn't playing music, it's often still transmitting signals, searching for connections, syncing with other devices, or waiting to respond to your commands. That means your body can be exposed to these radio waves continuously, especially if the speaker is close by, like on your kitchen counter or dining table. The close proximity is important because the strength of electromagnetic fields decreases sharply with distance. When devices are right next to you, the exposure is much higher. For seniors, whose cellular repair and antioxidant systems tend to slow down with age, this constant low-level exposure may add subtle stress to the nervous system. The Harvard School of Public Health and other institutions have noted that seniors might be particularly sensitive to cumulative electromagnetic field exposure. It's not about an immediate shock or sudden health crisis, but rather a gentle, persistent drain on your body's ability to recover and maintain balance. Martha decided to test a change after reading about these concerns. She swapped her Bluetooth speaker in the kitchen for a small wired speaker system, a device that plugged directly into her radio and didn't send out any wireless signals. To her surprise, not only did the sound quality improve with richer bass and clearer tones, but she also felt more energetic in the afternoons. Her sleep deepened, and the restless nights she had begun to accept as normal started to fade away. The wired system never needed charging, never lost connection, and had none of the interference that sometimes caused her Bluetooth speaker to skip or drop out during her favorite songs. Martha found joy in the simplicity and reliability of the wired alternative, and peace in knowing she'd reduced her daily exposure to unnecessary electromagnetic radiation. This isn't a call to ditch all your Bluetooth devices. They have brought wonderful convenience and connection to our lives, especially for seniors who want to stay engaged with technology without the hassle of tangled cords. Instead, it's a gentle reminder to be mindful of how and where you use them. Here are a few simple tips that can make a big difference. When possible, keep Bluetooth speakers and devices a few feet away from where you spend the most time in your kitchen. Even a small increase in distance can drastically reduce your exposure. Turn off Bluetooth features on devices when you're not actively using them. Many smartphones, tablets, and computers allow you to disable Bluetooth without losing functionality. Consider using wired speakers for your kitchen or main living spaces where you spend a lot of time. They provide excellent sound quality without adding any electromagnetic pollution. If you love your Bluetooth devices on the go, keep their use limited to shorter periods and try to avoid carrying them close to your body for long stretches. Remember, every small step counts. Your kitchen should be a place where you nourish your body and soul, surrounded by the sounds that make you happy, without invisible stressors wearing you down. Like Martha, you deserve to enjoy the music and podcasts that bring you joy, while also protecting your health and well-being. Sometimes that means making small, thoughtful changes, not giving up what you love, but making it better. Technology is a wonderful tool when it works for us. By taking control of how and where we use it, especially in the spaces we cherish most, we can live fully, vibrantly, and comfortably in every season of life. So next time you press play on your favorite tune in the kitchen, take a moment to think about where your speaker is placed. A little space and a few wise choices can keep your days full of music, and your body full of energy. As we come to the end of our time together, I want you to take a deep breath and feel proud. You've taken a powerful step by learning about the hidden radiation sources in your kitchen, those everyday appliances and devices that quietly affect your health, especially as we age. It's not always easy to face things we can't see or feel, but you've opened your eyes to new possibilities for protecting your well-being and reclaiming your energy. Remember, small changes can lead to big improvements. Whether it's moving your microwave a few feet away, relocating that cordless phone base, or choosing a manual can opener, each choice is a gift you give yourself. These simple adjustments aren't about fear. They're about respect for your body, your comfort, and the precious years ahead. You deserve a kitchen that feels safe and nourishing, a place where you can enjoy every meal, every moment, without invisible worries weighing you down. Share what you've learned with friends and family, because your story might inspire someone else to make a change, too. If this journey has opened your eyes or sparked new hope, please leave a comment below and tell me which tip resonated most with you or which change you plan to try. Your voice matters, and together, we can build a community of seniors who live healthier, happier lives. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more helpful tips designed just for you. You deserve to live well, and I'm here to help you every step of the way.